should tell everybody. Yay. So when you come on, Joyce, it'll already be started.
Okay.
Okay. And what we're going to do tonight is work on loading your bobbins. A lot of people call it winding, but that's kind of gives you a misnomer because the thread isn't going to go around the bobbin. So, if you're holding your bobbin, it's not going to go around like this. You're going to be turning your bobbin. So let me go ahead and highlight this one, spotlight. Sorry, that's what they're calling it now. And there are two knots you're going to learn tonight. One, I hope you already know. It's a slip knot. And I got some bigger thread so I could show you. I always do everything so fast, so I'm going to try to show real slow. The first thing I'm right-handed, so I'm going to, I'm ambidextrous, but I've never worked out exactly what it will look like if I was going to be left-handed. So I'm going to show it to you right-handed. You're going to twist so that the tail, let me get it underneath the.
What size thread?
This is just yarn right now.
No, I know, but what are we supposed to be using?
We're using the cotton DMC coordinate number 60. It's hard to focus on it.
Yeah, I couldn't find any of that.
Okay.
Got 80. I've got 50. I've got 40.
Either one of those. Those are all close enough.
Okay.
But while we're talking about size, what you're going to find is that when you've got, oh, hi, whoever came in.
Recording in progress.
Yay. Yay. Okay, I'm going to close. It's this one. Okay, I turned mine off and it stopped, so yay. The different size threads will just give you either the thicker, more stout lace or the light, delicate lace. I'm kind of in between. I want it to be a little bit thinner than the stoutest, but this to me is too thick, or too thin, sorry, backwards. It's a personal preference. So if you've got something close to the size 60, then you're good. So your 50 is great. Use it.
Okay, it's regular sewing thread.
Oh yeah, that'll be smaller than this even.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. Do you remember the linen thread, or do you have any of the lace that you made with the kit from the library way back?
I don't know where it is. Yeah, I don't know where it is.
That's kind of the weight that I go for all of it.
Okay, well, I have a linen thread that it says Nell 60/2.
That's great.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be perfect. I only did the DMC coordinate because it was easier. I thought it would be easier to get than linen thread. I normally work with linen because it is a period, meaning pre-1600 thread type used in bobbin lace. So that's something that I look for because SCA is kind of what I do this all for. This is a standard lace or thread for both bobbin and needle laces after 1600. Cotton is just a standard go-to, especially for beginners, because it is cheaper than buying the linen. But I love working with linen. Okay. The slip knot is the first knot you're going to use to start putting the thread on the bobbin. You don't have to do it if you're patient enough to figure out how to start the thread onto the bobbin itself, but I'm lazy. Sorry for all my pauses and stuttering. It's one of the gifts from the stroke I had back in February, and I'm very proud of it because it's really the only thing that it slows me down from it. So anyway, back to the first knot, the slip knot. The way I make it, and you can go online and Google YouTube how to make a slip knot, and you'll find many different ways, I'm sure. How I make it is that first the tail is going to the right. I do a twist and then put my thumb so I'm holding it. And then I kind of use my finger as a hook to bring the thread up through. So that just means that I can make this bigger if I pull it one way and smaller if I pull it the other. You can make it so small that it goes away even. So, do y'all know how to do a bobbin or to a slip knot? Are we good with that, or do we
I
need to?
did it.
You did it! Yay! So when you
I did one.
have the slip knot in your thread that you're going to use with your bobbin lace, you then put the bobbin through the slip knot and tighten it down. You're going to hold the end of the thread with your bobbin handle. This is the handle. This is the head. Sorry, let me get it up. I got to remember that it's up here. This is the head and this is the handle, and different things this is called. I can't remember which book I was looking at last, but that's just basically the repository for the thread. And you're going to turn it. This is important. Most everything is whatever works for you is good. This is important. You're going to turn the bobbin away from you. The bobbin is in my right hand and I'm turning it away. If you do it a different way, you're going to have to make your what I call the magic knot differently. Okay. And it can hurt, not hurt, but it kind of messes with the thread itself. Thread is spun first from just fiber, and it's spun into one little piece. Let's see, I can show you on the yarn easier. So the first time through your spinning, you get a very weak piece of thread. Okay, I can pull that apart and it'll break easily. I'm not going to pull it apart. Then you ply it, and this yarn has 3 pieces with it. You ply it the opposite way you spun it so that it twists upon itself. And that's how you get, and it's not going to focus up there. I'll pull it back. That's how you get the stronger thread that you can't just break. Okay. So back to our winding. You're winding away from you. Now, I don't know why it's important to me to make this first row nice and tight and even, but it is. When you get to a point where the tail, you're not having to hold the tail to keep it going, keep it in place on the bobbin, go ahead and cut that tail off so it's out of your way. Okay. So you just winding and kneading, make it neat. Get it back over here so you can see it. And when you're working with cotton, you do not have to worry about how the thread comes off of the skein. Okay. When you're working with linen, let's say this was linen. Oh, and by the way, this is a really cool thing. It keeps your thread nice and neat, and you just pull and it comes through. It's great. I'll have to put the where I got it from. On linen, you want it to come off of the skein. So it's, let's say it's going around this way. So it's going to come off the skein and go on to your bobbin. So it comes off and goes on. Oops, let me get this up closer. So it comes off the skein and goes on to your bobbin. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. And that's very important because of the way that linen fibers lock and interlock and interact with each other. Cotton is not as demanding as linen is. So that's why this little thing works very nicely.
Persnickety.
Yeah, linen is persnickety, but it's beautiful stuff. Love working with the linen. This is from Lizbeth, Liz, Lizbeth, and it's a thread holder. Handy Hands is the maker. And it's really for tatters because it has 2 holes right here, 1, 2, and you put a loop of ribbon in it so that it goes around your wrist, and then the tatting, the thread is there so you can tat with your hands free. And the thread is just like on your wrist here. It's really cute. It's really great. Love it, love it, love it. So just keep loading that up. Now you're going to load all of the thread for 2 bobbins onto 1 first. And a lot of modern patterns will tell you exactly how much thread to put on each bobbin. So you would load all of it onto 1 bobbin and then half of it onto the next. When you go through and do the next layer of thread, I'm not as persnickety myself about it, just because I can't move it and make it nice and flat and even. So, but I get it as close as I can, just because that way you can load more onto it. And I do. That was, I've gone up 1 and down 1. I'm going to come back up 1. And that may be enough. I don't ever really care. It doesn't bother me if there's not enough thread on the bobbin, because changing out a loaded bobbin for an empty bobbin is easy. I mean, it's really easy. So don't worry about it. Okay? Just load whatever you want to on your bobbin. Know if you're going to use a lot of thread for a big project that you want to do. I think 7 yards of lace is the biggest project I've done. So, that one was just load it until it really doesn't hold anymore. And then go for it. But if you're just going to do, a little bitty motif, like you want just a little shamrock to put on a collar somewhere, you don't need to load all of the bobbin. As a matter of fact, I have bobbins that are loaded already, and because I've used them from another project, and I ended up with extra thread. So I keep those bobbins, trying to find my zipper, sorry, with a clip on it. I use this little clip right here. It's a little hair clip, little tiny thing. And once I do, I'll show you this knot in just a second. But that's the magic knot that I just did, and I'll show you how to do it. I clip it there. So if I come up with a very small project that I want to do, I can take some of those bobbins, wind some, I've got just a single bobbin here. So I'll wind some of that thread onto another one, and then I can do the little shamrock, no problem. So, but don't worry about how much thread is on your bobbins. It is easy to add them and take them away, no problem. So once you get all the thread on, and I'll do this several times. If you're not there yet, don't worry. I'm just going to show it to you now, though. You're going to wrap your bobbin around twice. So I've got 2 threads right there, and turn it so that they're facing the same direction, my fingertip and the top of the bobbin. And then you're going to very carefully get the head of the bobbin. That's why I always use double-headed bobbins. I have some, but I don't use them. They were gifts, or they were commemorative or something like that. So anyway, they're both pointed the same way. Then I'm putting my finger just right there to hold the threads in place. Take my finger out and very carefully tighten that up. And the reason I call this the magic thread, I can pull this way and there's not going to be any thread come off. I can even pull this way and there's not thread come off. But if I want to, let me get my finger up there so you can see it. If I need more thread, all I have to do is turn the bobbin and magic happens and there's more thread. Okay. If I need to take up thread, you just make a loop and you turn it the other way, and you can't really see it, but the thread is going onto the bobbin. Okay. When you've got the thread you want on your bobbin, go ahead and just snip the end off. You're going to hang the bobbin down in front of you. You need to make another one of those magic, oh no, this is a slip knot you need. Slip knot again. Put another bobbin in and start winding onto this one. Holding the tail and winding, making it neat. Winding and making it neat.
Away again?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
Winding
Away, yes.
winding away.
Always
again?
wind away. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. That was a great question. I'm
Okay.
sorry I didn't say it. Okay. And then when I need more thread, I'm holding it and I'm just rolling it. And you roll it one way. If it works, great. If you're not, you roll it the other way. Because quite honestly, I don't remember which way you go depending on which way you're holding the bobbin. And I'm sorry, I should know that as a teacher, but I don't.
So from now on, I should look for a Zoom link? for the
Yes,
next
please.
class? Okay. That's what I'll do.
I'm so sorry about all the confusion. I didn't realize
okay.
that Facebook had put that in.
Well, they're always changing things,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
And in the back of my head, I remember about how many times up and down I did. I know that there's, by having this nice and even and condensed bottom layer, if I have that on both bobbins, I know I have about the same amount for that first line. So then I just have to look at what the second and third layers look like to kind of just guess at how, if they're even or not. I try to make them even when I'm starting a project. But after that, they're very seldom even. And again, it doesn't really matter because it's so easy to add a new bobbin when you run out of thread on the other. Okay, I'm sorry I didn't show you. Another magic. I've got two going that way. You turn them. Get the head of the bobbin underneath. Get both threads. Come on, that second thread's not doing. Okay, both threads into the little slot. And then pull so they're tight. As long as you have them hanging so that just a little bit of gravity's on them, they're not going to come undone. If you're going to travel with them and you're just going to put them in like a Ziploc bag, you're going to want to use the little clips as well. And that you just pull the string, the thread that comes from the knot down and put the clip over it. Some people use a little piece of drinking straw. Sorry. And they cut it to fit into the reservoir here, and then cut it in half, and then that'll just slide over to keep them together. If you are just going to load it for a pillow, I have the pillow near me, and see if you can see, and then just have pins, and just having it hanging off a pillow like that, you don't need to put the clips on then, because the little bit of gravity will hold it down. Hopefully that came out on the recording. I don't know what does and doesn't work when I'm recording and not recording. Oh, that'll work. We'll just put it underneath this camera and show you. So just by hanging them just a little bit. We are going to have another lesson on Zoom. It'll be a different channel than this one because my Shire, it has their arts and sciences the fourth Sunday of the month. And so I'm going to be doing our actually making lace class with them. So I'll make sure we get that out to everybody. Message me if anything is looking weird. I'll try to make sure that I have my Facebook Messenger open so that I can hear you when it goes off. Sorry about Sunday. I didn't even think about having Facebook open because I thought we were going to do everything differently.
Well, when there were 5 of us sitting there, we began to think maybe there was something, that you had an accident or something. So we were
worried
concerned. Yeah.
Oh no, y'all are so sweet to worry about me.
Because we knew you had messengered us just like 15 minutes before. So it was a mystery.
Okay, well now that we won't do that again because I don't want anybody to worry. If you want to do yardage with this pattern, and this is a really cool pattern, it is a period pattern from the area of Germany, Switzerland area, and it's from one of the 2 pattern books we have from the late 1500s. This one is the German one, what I call the German. The other one is La Pompe, which is Italian. And La Pompe had 2 different volumes of patterns. So sometimes you'll hear people say, well, there's 3 pattern books. Yes, there are, but 2 of them are kind of like part 1 and part 2. Actually, that's what it's called. La Pompe Primo and La Pompe Secundo. So it is 1 and 2. But if you wanted to make this so where you could make a lot of lace, I've done this in everything but cotton, I think. one of the neat ways or neat additions, and I'll make sure I show this to y'all while we're working this pattern, is putting a bead at every point. And you don't have to think about that beforehand. You can decide to do it as you're doing it. You don't have to put all the beads on the thread or anything like that. You just add it as you're going. So if you're getting it ready to do continuous lace, you're going to want to cut where the dots are. And every time there's a dot, by the way, every place is where you're going to put a pin. So when you're cutting the patterns, this tells you there needs to be four pairs on this pin and 4 pair on this pin. Oh, you can't see because I did it down there. Let's try that up here. So 4 pair on this pin and 4 pair on that pin.
Here's the what?
I didn't understand.
4 pairs of thread, pins, what?
Bobbins.
I'm sorry, 4 pair of bobbins.
So 4
Thank you.
bobbins are going to be hanging from that pin.
4 pairs, so 8 bobbins. So this is a
Oh.
pair of bobbins.
Mhm.
So we would have 1, 2, 3. Come on, guys, help me out. 4. So that's 1 pin. And then you'll have another pin on the other spot with the same number of bobbins on it.
Okay, LaDonna.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I was winding away, turning the bobbin away from me and winding it, like you
Yes, ma'am.
said, the second bobbin,
Uh-huh.
and it keeps getting loose and it got tangled. Let me make sure that's locked in there really well. Let me try it again.
So is it getting loose because when you're down here?
It's getting loose in the around in the middle. It's like making loops. This time it's going better.
Okay.
I guess it was the little slip knot at the end wasn't.
Yeah, you got to make sure
Oh.
it's nice and tight
Yeah.
there. And then you may want to hold it with the tail a little bit longer.
Yeah. The first one I didn't leave the tail very long. I trimmed it before you said that. But this one I
Okay.
left it longer.
So. And you don't want to pull it so tight that it changes, because cotton has a little bit of a give to it. Linen doesn't give as much, but you don't want to like pull it really tight and then you have this misshapen or, this one was already wound up. I just unwound it real quick to make sure we were going together. But you do want it tight enough that it doesn't slip down here where the knot is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it working better for you now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. And you can leave that tail on as long as you need to. Let me finish this up real quick. And
Okay.
you are gonna want to leave 4, 5, 6 inches in between the two bobbins before you start. What's going to happen is that you will learn what is comfortable for yourself. And I have different lengths of thread between the bobbins for different pillows. And that is something that as you work on your lace, you're going to find. I almost spilled everything. Hold on. Sorry. You're going to find what's comfortable. Okay. Back to the pattern. So if you're going to do this, so you have, you're moving your pattern back and forth so you can do as long as you want to. You're going to want to cut both ends with the dots. You want to cut the dots in both ends right in half. Then it helps if you have on the straight side, on the foot side, you have the same distance of paper left. Now, I've already printed this off and I have matte it's cardstock, and then I have matte clear construction paper. You want matte because if you do the glossy, it's going to reflect back into your eyes and you're not going to be able to see the pattern as well. So matte is important. And then I trim it where it's just about that much from both sides of the foot of the pattern. I messed up. But again, I'm going to cut, since this is the other end, I'm going to cut right in the middle of those dots. I need to cut this end off. Ooh, don't go anywhere. And it's nice if you have I should have measured it and done it right, but I'm sorry I didn't. Yeah, I'm close. Because when you put the pattern on your pillow, you want to line it up so that it's straight with the next one. And then you're going to use the pattern. You're going to make your lace all the way down here. When you're off the first bit, you're going to take it off the pillow because you're going to take your pins up and reuse them because that's what period lace makers did. And you're going to put that pattern piece at the bottom and use it again. Okay. So, yeah, I may try to clean that up a little bit because that's really bad. I've got a slider cutter. I'll use that. It'll be better. So now if you just want to do just this much as like a test piece to not worry about it anymore and go on to another pattern, that's cool. You don't have to worry about matching those dots up, or just put that one piece on your bobbin on your pillow and you're good to go. Are we doing okay with our winding?
What is our goal here? How many pairs?
You're going to need 8 pair,
16 bobbins.
16 bobbins, yes.
Okay, I got a ways to go.
Yeah, I've only got one done, one set, one pair.
Well, I mean, we've got 2 weeks.
I know.
So you've got plenty of time. I just want to make sure
Started
you're
working on my pattern thing because you said
awesome.
they had the same width. So,
Mhm.
okay. So now more thread, more bobbins.
Mhm. And I enjoy winding bobbins. It's a lot of lace makers are like, oh, if I could just have someone wind the bobbins for me, it'd be okay and it'd be great. Enjoy all of it because it makes it so much better. See, I wrote it on the back of this and then I cut it off, cut it apart.
Oh.
On the 23rd and the 25th. Oh, Martha, you still there?
Yeah, I've
Okay,
got low
good.
battery.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'll plug it in real quick.
Yeah, I have mine both plugged in because it's like, who knows when that battery will go down. And it goes down really quick when you're doing a video.
Mm-hmm.
You doing okay, Joyce?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Okay. Now, Marie, you're in the SCA?
Yes, I'm at Hell's Gate in Killeen, Texas.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm over in Rosenfeld right now in Gilmer, Tyler.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Tyler, I know. Yeah, I just drove up from Austin. It was raining and awful, and I just pulled in. So I'm glad I made it because I wasn't sure I'd
you're
get back.
safe.
What?
Yeah, I'm glad you made it safely. I heard there was sleeting in Austin. I'm going,
It was sleeting. I was just going, this is ridiculous.
how is it sleeting in Austin, but not in Tyler?
I don't know. I was sitting there going, I thought for a minute, I thought it was hail because it was really hitting the window of my car. But then I decided it was really tiny. So I went ahead and called it sleet. But anyway, it was awful. So anyway.
Martha joined us at a lace guild in Pasadena at the library there. So,
well, that's still East Texas.
yeah. Well, no, that's down in Pasadena. It's close to Houston.
Yeah, we're in the east.
Okay, well, it's east of me.
Well, East Texas. Yeah, you're right. It's not West Texas. East. I always think East Texas. I'm thinking Northeast Texas because I basically grew up.
Piney Wood.
Yeah.
Only
I went
place
to in high school here in Gilmer, so that's.
I've only been to Tyler once, and that was to see the rose garden. So.
Oh yeah, they're pretty. I did want to show some books because I forgot to do that at the last meeting, and it'd be nice if it was on this video. So the patterns that were used in period, this one is a real good example of them. They probably used a plain weave, like a gingham, what we think of as gingham now, that give you the squares, and they could line up, either do a catty-cornered line so that the box actually went around the box that's on the pad on the gingham, or this diagonal would have fit into the box that was on the gingham, and they wouldn't have used a pattern pricking. This is actually pricking. The pattern is what's written out. I don't use patterns. I just use prickings. And so, because once you figure out the pathway, you're going to be fine.
Okay, I have 2 pairs, but they go in opposite directions.
One should, yeah, it should come off one. So it's coming off one,
Mm-hmm.
going around the other.
In the same direction?
So it should be, let me get the knots off mine.
Yeah, let me see yours.
Okay.
Oh, that's the opposite direction. Yeah, yours are in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wonder how I managed to do that twice.
Because it's coming off this one and going around that one.
Do your finger again?
Okay, it's coming off the bottom of this one
Right.
and going around the top of the
Okay, well, that's exactly what mine does. Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
that's what you want them to do.
good.
So we get to do the magic knot again. Yay! You go around twice. Get them both pointing the same direction. And put the knot in. Go around twice. Get them going the same direction. Take the finger out. Pull the knot. Jillian Dye. So I've said her name wrong for so many years. Jill is what she wants. It's what she likes to go by, but her full name is Jillian. It's a really unique way to spell it.
That's her SCA name?
I don't believe she's in the SEA.
Okay.
This is her legal name.
Okay.
She's from England, and she has been able to actually go into the different museums and study and touch the lace. So
Cool.
she has made a series of books. This is Introduction to Bone Lace is another name for bobbin lace because some of the bobbins were made out of bone. She goes through and talks to you about the, yep, there's the picture. She made some bones as bobbins. See if I can get it up there so you can see it. There we go. It's not focusing well. It's a new phone and I don't know how to make it focus, obviously.
It's okay.
Next, she calls it a neck. I don't know what to call it. And but she goes through the different patterns, and I think well, she shows you how to do it on the grid paper without any printed pricking. And it's a really cool, I've taken a class with her. She's a really neat lady. And I was able to geek out. Oh, you're my favorite author. Will you sign my books? So I wasn't the only one, by the way. Just want to let you know, I wasn't the only one. What?
Was she in the States?
Yes, back in 2018, she came over to do the San Antonio International International Lace Makers Organization. I can't remember, and she taught a class on late 16th century lace. And like I said, she's just really awesome. But so she's done a series, so that's a name to know. Another, and Stephanie showed us quite a few pictures out of this particular book. It's Let's Begin Bobbin Lacing. This is the Teacher's Companion. It's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different authors, all wonderful lace makers. She's anyway, This shows you how to make what's called torsion lace, and it's one of the very first modern laces that people learn. It's got nice color drawings and definitions of everything. It's just a great basic elements, how to do each of them, and then they go into really cute little patterns and little braids. I love it. Yeah, I made lace, and you put your little piece of it there. It's a very cute book, and it's a very good hands-on. It is for a modern lace called torsion. So that is, if that's something, I know Stephanie showed us a couple of pictures from it. Martha, I know Stephanie has a copy of it if you want to look through it.
Mm-hmm.
This is, well, let's do this one first. This is another torsion step-by-step guide for lace making. And this is kind of, it's torsion is known for these pathways, trails, they're called trails, and fans, and then spiders. So, and they do different grounds as well. This is a beautiful book that goes through each one, very, very detailed pictures. So it's Torsion Lace Making, a step-by-step guide by Jan Trigigio. I can't, sorry, that's my brain. Now Doris Sutherland this is the lace book that I started with back in 1990 something, and it had a VHS tape with it. They now have a couple of DVDs, and it starts with torsion, and it goes through all different laces. No, I'm sorry. This is it's the majority of this is for torsion, and then it has a little small section of other kinds of laces. And the last one, if you can find this one at a half price book or used book, it comes in a hardback and a paperback. It's an excellent book, but again, it's not published anymore. It's out of print. Pamela Nottingham, and it is a collection of different laces. You've got torsion, you've got Bedfordshire and Beds Maltese lace, Bucks Point. Now, when you get to the, I don't know where torsion is. It may be a place in England, but Bedfordshire and Maltese and Clunky and Bucks Point are all towns in England, or county or areas in England. And that's where the different laces were made. But so if you want a more diverse book, this is it. But again, if you're in the SCA and you want to focus on the period laces, you want to go with Jillian Dye and her stuff. There's going to be Pam, oh shoot, who was it? Help me out. Pam. Nope, sorry, Kim Davis. Kim Davis is doing a class for reconstructing 16th century lace at the IOLI in the summer of 2022. And she's going to be publishing a book in the spring from that class and all of the research she did for it. So I'm looking forward to that. Yay. Are y'all doing okay with your bobbin winding?
Fourth bobbin. I'm on my fourth bobbin. Almost
Yay!
have 2 pair.
I'm going to go ahead and end the recording part because when it gets too long, it's hard to load
Okay.
and upload, and I have to cut off the ends of it. So we're ending. Oh no, not that button. Let's see, what button do I want to end? Okay, there we go. Yes.